Yes, my name is Valentine Obi. I'm the founder and group CEO of e-Tranzact Global, which we started in 2003, beginning in Nigeria. And we have, by God's grace, successfully moved into other countries in Africa, currently in Ghana, South Africa. We are also in the United Kingdom and moving to other countries globally. Well, I think it started out of more of questioning the status quo. I'm naturally a very inquisitive person. I believe there's always a better way to do whatever you're doing, and that made me to question a lot of things, to question a lot of standards, and especially when people talk about standards, in the first place, who creates those standards, and what we are doing today, is there a better way you can do it without um, creating any problem and instead adding more value to the equation. I've always believed that whatever it is that you do, it must be value adding. If there's no value add, then you don't have a business. And so I have always tried to question what is happening around me. How can we make it better? In the years 2000, I was so, for example, concerned with the cash circulation situation in Nigeria. Almost everything you have to do, you have to pay by cash. It's still there, but I think to some extent, it's coming down. So I was very concerned that you want to buy a car, you have to pay cash. You have to go carry load of cash. You want to buy a house, the same thing. And that began to make us look, this can be done better. And we can do it in a way that is simple, convenient, and secure. And so every entrepreneur, there's always a vision that you are working with. There's always something. There's always a solution you are trying to proffer in the society. And for me was I saw there's a need, to bring some solution in that area. And having a technology background made me look to that strength. That is a way I can actually use technology to somewhat add value to what already exists in the society, and that is really what's all meant. So for an entrepreneur, there must be a solution you are trying to solve, a problem you are trying to solve. There must be a value you are creating. If you are not creating value, or you are not solving the problem, then really, like I said before, you don't have a business. You don't have the vision is lacking the right nutrients to make it grow. And that's what we have done with e-Tranzact. For us was to create a simple, cost-effective, secure way for people to make and receive payments. That was 15 years ago. And I'm happy to say that today is a reality, it's happening. And we see a lot of people coming on board that train in different angles. I can still remember clearly in 2002, 2003, when I went to the central bank to tell them about my plans to create a cashless platform using the mobile phones. I remember the director then, most of them, really smiled, politely walked me out and said I should come back with more information as we go on. And I can understand that, but that did not hinder me. That did not stop me. Because for every entrepreneur, you must know you will always face challenges. There will be people, because they don't understand it, not because they don't like you or they don't believe you. The issue is that they don't get it. They don't know it. So really, it is for you to take some time to try to educate the people. Now, if you educate them well and they get to understand it, you become a winner. But let me tell you, it can take years for that education to happen. Because for us in Nigeria, for example, it took from 2003 to 2011, 2012 before CBN, saw that there's indeed not just CBN, but even the banking sector in Nigeria and globally, that indeed moving to mobile is something we have to do and do very fast. But that's you as an entrepreneur. You always see things ahead of time and you try to uh, bring it to happen within your environment. And that's for me, for an entrepreneur, you need not to be, you don't have to be discouraged when people scorn your ideas. If you believe in it firmly and you have those two ingredients I said, is adding value and is solving a problem, stick to it. You know, people will eventually come around, just like they come around on mobile payment and mobile financial services. Well, for us, e-Tranzact, the plan was simply to create a platform to make you receive and pay money in a convenient way, secure way, and cost effectively. Convenience that I don't need to be carrying huge cash to go and pay for things. How can I stay from where I am without moving? I can do all my transactions. So the plan was truly to create a cashless environment as much as possible. In 2003, that was, it must be crazy. Because people didn't believe it. Most people don't know about it. People are still struggling to use their mobile phone that was just coming into Nigeria then to make phone calls. Some even don't know how to use to send a text. And then you are telling somebody that you can have the same alien-looking device. You're going to start using it to do my financial services. 2002, 2003. Of course, I can understand why many people didn't believe it at that point in time. But for me, it was clear as crystal. I know that that's where it's going. I know that's where payment is going. I know that just like we move from cowries and all those stuff to coins to notes and the rest of them, this is, for me, then the natural progression of things. We're going to have a situation whereby this tool can become something you can use, just like you use cash to make payment. Now, we are not there yet globally, but that is vision, and that is where it's coming. And I've tried to spread this in all my various discussions and all my presentations. And in moving to other countries, is the same thing, bringing the same philosophy and the same vision to bear in those countries. Because especially in Africa, we're all alike. Almost everything happens the same way. Most African, sub-Saharan Africa, for example, they're all cash-based economy. So I think that to a point, like I said, we're not there yet, but we have achieved quite a lot of successes. And the most interesting part of it is that today, the regulating bodies believe in it. The government, they believe in it. They see that indeed this is a solution. And for me, that is heartwarming, because many years back, nobody believed. But today, we have a lot of believers. So to analyze, I think that the vision is, has achieved a measure of success. There's still a lot more road, to travel on, and we're set and we're ready for that. The first thing was people believe in it. But I think that the most important is for you to believe in that vision yourself, that indeed it is uh, you're solving a problem. Um, if you believe that, that gives you a lot of fuel, a lot of energy to carry on despite whatever happens along the way. You cannot force people to believe only the thing that you only see. Um, but there's no doubt that there are issues with infrastructure. There's issues with access of finance, especially in this environment. Our infrastructure is not the best. But it so happened that there are things you can do to change that position. Remember when we started, one of the biggest things was, you want to do, but there's no electricity. We don't have constant electricity. I said, okay, if we don't have it, let's build our own inverter. And then we just build inverters ourselves, getting batteries and putting it together and making sure that we can use it to, apart from using generators, so we build inverters. The other one is, what about communication? There's no fiber link and whatever it is. I said, let's put on point-to-point radio. So there's things that will come to stare you on the face, and the whole idea is to stop you from getting to where you're going. Now, if you at that point give up and say, because there's no infrastructure, then you cannot, then you missed it completely. So there's a need for you to be very resilient. And we went ahead, for example, and we put up, point-to-point links between us and the bank, between us and the various people, even though it wasn't there. So the infrastructure challenge is a challenge. Not only you are not the only one facing it. Everybody is facing it. No, it is now for you to see how best can you make do with the situation around you. Access to finance, nobody's going to support you, especially when they've not seen anything. Especially if you're coming with an idea that is completely alien to the norms. In my own case, what I did was the little that I have is to put my money where my mouth is, and to invest all that I have in it, meaning selling things that I have because I believe in that vision, and that's what I did. Staying focused to any vision is primarily because first you completely believed in it. If you don't believe in that vision, anything can shift your focus. Anything can shift your focus. Just one simple government regulation can shift your focus. Or just one simple failure your first try can move your focus. But because I believed in that vision and I believed in what we are trying to achieve, I did not allow anything, both negative and positive, to move us away. And that's for me very important. That as an entrepreneur, you must strongly believe what you want to achieve, what you want to do. Otherwise, anything can move you away. So I basically was focused because I believe that there is a value we are presenting. There is a value we are going to be providing to the community. And that's what excites me every day. And every day my mind is bustling with new ideas, new plans, new ways to reach out to the different people. At a point, for example, people didn't understand how are you going to send a test then and it will hit your bank and then move money to second bank. How's it going to happen? And it was so confusing in the minds of people, and I can understand that. But that didn't move me. In the first couple of years, it was a struggle how to even pay salaries. We'll try to pay the salaries of staff, but you as the executive owner, you don't have any salary. But it's part of the sacrifice that you make, as an entrepreneur, as a founder. And So really, my focus many times was trying to shift, but I always remind myself of what is the end result? What are we trying to achieve? And anytime that gets to my mind and gets into my spirit, a new energy comes busting in. But also, it's important to have very good friends. Because I remember there was a point in time that I was so shaken, the banks were not accepting there was a lot of struggle. People were a lot more so convenient with their cash, and I was almost at the point of giving up. Until a friend came to me and said, look, if this is what God has given you to do, and what He's giving you to do is to provide this for the community, if you decide not to do it, you're saying, God, you are wrong. And that gave me a lot more energy, to go back again, look at the issues. The challenges were there. Okay? How can we begin to move from point A to point B? If they don't believe that this can work, what other solutions can we provide that can begin to shape the end result? So the issues that look at, what are the needs of the people? What are the companies trying to solve? And how can you use this same platform to solve that problem? And that is what we did. And the rest is history. Because now, from just the mobile, it has now gone into a lot more stuff. Other collection platform, switching platform, and all that, because we're beginning now to see other needs that can be met with the same product. Yeah. So don't be shaken about when people don't believe. Don't be shaken about when suddenly the people who you think are your supporters gives up because maybe they're not getting their salaries anymore and they give up. It does happen, But what you need to know is, what is your end game? Where are you going? If you stop doing what you are doing, what will be the effect? Is there going to be any effect? And if you can answer those questions truthfully, and see that indeed there'll be effect, it will affect somebody, negatively, then you have some energy to go ahead. Yeah, education is key. I am involved. I'm one of the founding board of regents of Covenant University, one of the foremost universities in this country. And I like being there. There's a lot of innovative things happening. And this is where you are training young minds. And that's so exciting, to be part of what is happening there. Because from there, I can see young people that one can immediately mentor. At a point, I have to have almost about 15 of them come into my organization, to learn the way we do our things. And some of them have gone up now to even start their own businesses, and do other stuff. So education for me is key and is primary. Not just education about just simple, but it's education also of your mind, your spirit, and your soul. I teach, for example, what they call the Word of Faith Bible Institute. And for me, it is a place that you can make people to clearly understand their self, their understanding that indeed God is supreme in everything that you do. And that without Him, no matter whatever you achieve, it is nothing. So for me, it is important that people, depending on what you believe, and I see that as one of the things that I give back to the community. But also importantly is I try to work with different people with their own different ideas, mentor them by guiding them, on the path they can go, showing them my examples, some of the places where I failed, and how they can avoid that. I think for me, those are areas that I'm concentrating. I have a couple of other places that I want to get involved in, in a couple of months from now. But basically, those are the areas I've been focusing. In the recent past, I have been talking about digital disruption for a long time, for quite a while. And people keep asking me, why do I say, look, we need to be aware of what is happening. Because if you don't know, before you know it, suddenly the business you're doing or the job you're doing, you have lost it. So what did you do? What did you do? You lost that business, you lost that job, that career. So what do you do? And that's why it's important to know that these things are happening. Take for a simple example, the woman that used to make hairs, plait people's hair. You go to salon in those days, you see a lot of people in salon, the women that are doing their hair in salon. Have you noticed that it's thinning out? Salons are no longer as full as they used to be. Why? Because now some disruption has entered that business. It's a small business, but suddenly it's losing customers because now the guy can decide to have a different hairstyle 3 times in a day, 5 times in a day. Just go buy different kind of wigs and different kind of all kind of hairstyle, and that changes. So what does that mean? The lady that used to plait hair suddenly have lost the business. Taxi drivers. Maybe the Uber has not gotten to everybody yet in Nigeria, but in most places, taxi drivers are having a hard time because Uber now is available. So what do you do when those things are happening? Are you prepared for such kind of disruption? But I tell you one area that is going to really affect seriously is the financial institutions. We have all our big banks and mighty banks, not just in Nigeria, globally, but the financial institutions are the ones that are going to be seriously disrupted in the years ahead, in the coming years. I used to ask a question is this: what do people need? Is it banks or banking? If it is banks, then you guys can stay. But if it is banking, then I can do banking in a lot of different ways. So the financial institutions that are not ready to see this in coming and adjust their business strategy and their business models are going to be hit seriously. Some will eventually get extinct, including the big, massive ones that is difficult to move and shift. Because suddenly they woke up overnight and found out that banking has changed destination. And people have new ways of banking. In the UK today, new banks are springing up quickly. But important is that the regulators have seen it and they've created a platform for that to happen. Some people say, well, what's going to happen is that the big banks are going to buy them off. Yeah, but after a while, how many are you going to buy off? So it is important that they begin to those big banks look at new ways. They have to start banking. So that's one area that you see that's going to happen. Photographers are having challenges. You have to be a specialized photographer. In those days, you want to do anything, you call a photographer to come and take your child's birthday. Today, everybody's doing what do you call it? They have their cell phone and they can do their selfie by themselves. So what's going to happen? So if you say that, well, I want to go and learn photography, I think you're in the wrong business. You need to learn something. You need to add something to it. Otherwise, you come out and you find out that you are out of business because of the new technologies that are coming up. So people need to be aware of that. And it's just, as you see, it's happening at the hair salon. It's happening at the big banks. So it's happening everywhere. What do you need to do? You need to be aware. You need to see, okay, where can I fit in this new fourth economy? Where can I fit in? Whatever it is that, whatever schooling you are doing, whatever, Now, you are doing, take for example, you are doing this lovely interview. Have you asked yourself, is there anything that can disrupt this business, that this business will disappear one day? That I will not be able to do this anymore because it becomes commonplace. Anybody can do it. A new technology can come forth now that I can just plug into my TV over there, and they do exactly the same thing that you're asking me. You can have an AI component that I can plug in that will ask me all those questions, so that you don't even need to come here all the way. You just send that question to me, and then the AI himself will ask me the questions, and I will answer. And so what I'm saying, so we always need to begin to look at the ways technology is moving, and not just technology, anything. Today, what rules the world is not bronze, it's the brain power, innovation, creativity. And for me, those are the very important things that we need to let our young people know. We need to let our educators know. We have moved on. If you are still studying Fortran in the university when you are doing computer science, I have no clue where you're going to use it. If you are still studying COBOL in the university, you're a deadweight. It's as simple as that. You may not like it. It may sound very harsh, but that's the truth. So I think that's where we need to begin to look at what is disrupting our environment. Ask yourself a simple question again. Central banks across the whole world, how long are they going to stay there? Are they going to be there forever? Who knows? Who knows? And those are the things, the questions that we need to ask ourselves, and then asking yourself some very important and sometimes hard-hitting questions make you to think deep, so that you can find a way to tackle the challenges that comes ahead of you. The first thing you must ask yourself as an entrepreneur is that, what problem am I solving? What value am I bringing? If you're not solving a problem and you're not adding any value, I don't know what you do. So that is key. It's important to have answers to those questions. Now, the problem you're solving, is that problem for corporates? Is it for the normal person, the public themselves? The value you're adding, is it to corporate? Is it to individuals? Because these are all areas. Because for anything you're doing, you are basically attending to either the corporate society or the general public. So whichever one that you are solving, that is fine. So that is the first thing you think about. Because every time I see entrepreneurs, they tell me that, the biggest challenge is funding. I say, no, you have missed it. If you are solving a problem, the funds will always come when that problem is. But if it's just going to be another copycat, then you have a different challenge. Is that what is going to make the man over there take your own? Or what will make him to change using what he's used to your own? Because that is fine. You can decide to copy something, but then you are bringing some other value into it. So it is that value, that's what you're going to be selling to people. So that's why I say it's important, solving the problem and adding value. So there may be already an existing system, it's working fantastic and all that, and you now come up with a product that adds better value to what's already existing. That's it's like part of what we're trying to do today by God's grace in Europe. Is we're going to be adding value to already what is it. People say, Europe, how is it going to happen? But watch out in a couple of months. We're going to be bringing some solution in there that will add some value to the communities around them. So that's one. Secondly is, when you have cleared all this and you face sudden challenges, don't give up. Don't give up. If you believe you are solving a problem, you are adding value to the system, challenges will come. But don't give up. Except you don't believe it enough. Don't give up. You say you don't have funding. What have you done with the little that you have? What can you show people of what you have done already? You know, because that will show people that indeed you have also invested not just yourself, but you also invested also your own resources, to prove that this thing works or that this thing will work the way you have described it to all. You know. So for me, those are the key things. But the most important is those first two. Am I solving a problem or am I adding value to existing system? And if you can answer that truthfully and the answer is positive for you, then move ahead.